Let's go to the fan hotline. He's Andy's partner on the Browns pregame show. He's mine on the Browns postgame show. He played DB in the National Football League. He played a lot of special teams. I can't wait to get his answer on this. He's Mr. Tyvis Powell. Hello, Tyvis.
Gentlemen, how y'all doing today?
Oh, we're having a swell day, my friend.
I know the callers must be thrilled.
Yeah, they're not having a good time. So let's. You made your living playing DB and special teams in the NFL. I asked you this yesterday on the postgame show. Can you explain to me what happens when there's a breakdown on a kick? Or is it a breakdown, or did the other team just do a good job blocking and the guy did a good job running, but you had a kick return followed by a punt return for a touchdown in the same quarter? And that seems way too bad to be a coincidence.
Yeah. Like I say, when you're going down on these things, everybody has a lane, and you create seams when you get caught stuck in somebody else's lane. I think that's kind of what happens on this. When you don't fan out on punt, you create seams, and these guys first of all, they did a great job for the Jets blocking it and creating the spot, and the guy did a really good job of finding that crease that the Browns left, and he made a great play with his leg. That's kind of how it goes. So a lot of the times it can be a mistake on the return team, but there's also some really good athletes in the NFL as well, and that's why they put them at punt returner.
What's it like to walk into a locker room after a loss like yesterday's game, and how do you move forward in a positive way?
The positive way part is the hardest. I think when you look at this game, it was a lot of people was on we have to win this game. All the signs point to you winning this game. There's no excuse for you not to win this game. And when you lose in the fashion that you lose in, it starts to get to that point where people start thinking about the offseason, because it just seems highly unlikely that you can make a run. Now, don't get me wrong, you can still be optimistic and look and say, Pittsburgh leads the division. They're only 3 wins ahead of you, and you can try to play that optimistic game. But to me, it's been a war this entire season with the offense versus the defense. Where the defense has just been waiting on the offense, and I thought yesterday was a good sign that it was on the way. And obviously, in the second half, again, we didn't do everything we did in the first half just kind of went away. Wasn't no production on the offensive side. The Dillon thing, I think the height thing has finally come to a point where I'm like, I don't understand how y'all don't see how this is a problem. It was a play I want to say it was in the third quarter. He was supposed to hit David Njoku on a nice little spray out. And you nice little throw. He's supposed to anticipate the out. He doesn't throw that. Okay, whatever. He goes to his next progression. Cedric Tillman is right there for a first down on a hitch. He doesn't throw that because I don't know if he can't see it or I don't know. But, it's the fact that, one, he's a rookie, so these is rookie mistakes. But, it's a lot of times that you can see that it's throws that he should make, and I don't know if it's because he can't see it because of the lineman being in his way or he just not pulling the trigger, one of the two. But I think that's become a common theme with him, and they got to find a way to fix that or they might have to just move on.
Tyvis, there was a bad throw to Jerry Jeudy who was open over the middle that bounced, 5 yards in front of him on the ground. And then a bubble screen to Malachi Corley that was set up on the right side, and he had blockers out there and everything, and he airmailed that one.
Yeah.
Can that stuff be coached out? Can that just be settling down? Or do you think this is just what it is?
You would hope by his fifth start that he settled down, but he still looked kind of skittish at times, and that part, I don't know if it's that he don't trust the line or whatever the case may be, but at this point, you should know what it is. You've played with these guys. You should know how much time you're going to get in the pocket. You should be able to anticipate this guy winning on the route. And to me, all the things that they preached about him being good on is, not happening right now. And I think that's concerning to me. I mean, it looks like at some points he regressed a little bit. When you seen him in the preseason, granted it was the preseason, but you seen him get the ball out in a timely manner. Now we're not seeing those things, the things that made him, be a special quarterback, the high process to be able to go through his progression quick and get the ball to where it's supposed to go. Well, now he's holding on to the ball and not getting it out, and he's missing things. And so it's like, well, if he's regressing, then we need to pull the plug. Because if it's about saving guys, because remember we want to save him from hurting himself. Because I remember they did that to Shedeur in the final preseason game. They should kind of keep that same energy right now because he seems to be regressing in that area a little bit.
All right, if you're Kevin Stefanski, do you pull the trigger, or why are you adamant, as you were yesterday, that you are not changing quarterbacks?
Like I said, Dillon Gabriel was a top 100 pick. They got to see this thing through. They have to make sure that he's not the guy, and I think they're trying to look at areas and see that he's growing in certain areas, and they're trying to build off of that. I think that once you pull that plug, there's no going back to him, like that. It'll be the Shedeur Sanders and Bailey Zappi show for the rest of the year. So I think they want to be 100% sure that they need to move on before they do it. And again, this is a 3rd round pick, so you want to give him all the chances in the world before pulling that plug.
Tyvis Powell joins us. Tyvis played in the NFL, and he was with us on the Browns radio network. You played in Seattle. Russell Wilson was a shorter guy. Russ was a 3rd round pick. How did it work for Russ? And how difficult is it for a guy? I mean, bad combination, 3rd round pick and short guy, and he made it.
Well, Russ had a strong arm, and Russ did a good job of improvising, and sometimes receivers didn't like that. Russ did a great job of scrambling around when things broke down, and he was able to chuck it deep, and he had guys that was making plays, Doug Baldwin, Jermaine Kearse, that worked. I don't know how strong Dillon Gabriel's arm is at times. Sometimes it looked like a lot of his balls be skipping off the turf sometimes, so it's like
or floating.
Kind of alarming. Yeah, so I don't know if he has the same arm strength as a Russell to be able to make those type of things happen. But Russell just did a really good job of extending plays and then being able to throw something deep down the field and having players make plays. That's kind of how Russ thrived in the league.
What's going through Kevin's mind right now? How do you fix this? How do you clarify things? How do you get your players motivated to come out each and every week to continue to be a tangible football team? I can't even think of the right word there, and that to not lose the locker room.
I would say that he's trying to figure that out himself because
you've been in locker rooms where you've seen. I'm assuming you've been in locker rooms that weren't winning and that the team still believed in the coach, right?
Yeah, I mean, my first year in San Francisco, I think we finished that season 4-12. But everybody was extremely motivated at the end of that year because they had just traded for Jimmy Garoppolo at the deadline, and Jimmy came in, and I want to say Jimmy won every game that he started. So, going into the offseason, and we played playoff teams to finish the season. I think we played, the Titans, the Jags when they were good. It was in the Rams or something like that. And all these teams was really good teams, and we was winning those games with Jimmy Garoppolo. So going into the offseason, we were extremely motivated to get back because we can figure something out. Now, granted, things didn't go well the next year because Jimmy got hurt, but that's a whole nother story for another day. But there was definitely optimism and a lot of excitement. Although we weren't going to the playoffs, it was so exciting going up against teams that were and still beating them because we was putting them on notice that this is what to expect next year. And, I'm not saying the Browns is out of it at all. I mean, obviously they're only 3 wins out of first place in their division, but they definitely need to figure out that mindset of and that's where the spark comes. The spark for us when I played for the 49ers was Jimmy Garoppolo, so the quarterback change thing could absolutely be a spark if necessary.
You're 2-7. You have a lot of games to play. What do you? Is there a focus on the last group of games? Is there something that this team needs to focus to key in on? How do you approach this?
Well, this team they just got to find a way to win. I think that's the thing. It's been 2 games this season that they absolutely should have won, and they blew it in the last quarter, and that's Minnesota in this game. Like, you watched both of those games, and you was like, for sure, the Browns are going to win this game. Yeah. And they played really well, and then they just collapsed in the fourth quarter. We got to find a way to finish, and that's 2 times that the defense actually gave up the play in the fourth quarter to kind of end the game. So the defense got to – I'm sure Jim Schwartz is going to be all over them to, finish games. That'll be the mindset, finish games, and then – for the offense, it has to stop being a tale of two halves. Like, you can't look good in the first 2 quarters and then let them make adjustments, and now you can't do anything. Like, that has to stop. Like, there's no way you think you ever going to be successful being able to have that as your recipe. And that's just kind of what I see when I watch the Browns, is that in the second half, we don't really respond well. We don't really. And then this whole, when the team gets to 20, like, once Brees Hall scored, I was like, well, that's kind of it, because that's 20 points. Granted, we finished the game with 20, but I'm not confident once the team scores 20 that we can match that.
What'd you think of Tommy Rees, the offensive play calling? And, I mean, they went right down the middle, right? I mean, you had, 32 passes, 32 runs.
Yeah, I like the balanced attack. I think that's the recipe for this Browns team to be successful anyway. Love the fact that they got Jerry Jeudy involved because, again, a lot of people always spoke that this offense goes as Jerry Jeudy goes. And it was nice to see him engaged and interested. So many times for these past few weeks, you could tell that he was, like, over it because he wasn't having the game that he wanted. So it was nice to see him stay locked in and engaged, and I think that helped Harold be able to get open. It helped David Njoku. It helped the run game. So I think that's the recipe going forward, to continue to keep him involved because he can be special. It's still there. Wish he'd do more. I know he had 12 targets, only caught 6. Want to see him catch 10 out of those 12 at least. And that's not all on him. That's going to be on Dillon too. He's got to throw him some better balls. But I think I had no problem with the game plan. It didn't look that much different than a Kevin Stefanski coach called game either.
We will talk to you next Sunday, sir. Thank you very much.
I'll see you next Sunday. Go Browns, go Bucks, go Cavs.
That's
and free Clase and Ortiz.
Well, we'll let the legal system take care of
that one. I'll let you have that one. That's all you.
Thanks, Tyvis.
See y'all later.
There's Tyvis Powell.